How we looking on Marshall's out there? Marshall's looking pretty good. Everybody in their spots. All right, drivers, TQ time to beat is Chad Cup with a 14.517. Space yourself out. We're going to be going live in less than 5. And here we go for our open e-buggy. Definitely going to be a tough time to beat here from Chad Cup. That's a pretty strong time shooting out from round 1, but it looks like the track is starting to groove up a little bit. A little bit of a rollover early on in the middle. I believe that may have been Shane, but I don't think so because I think Shane's got a little bit of a darker blue. That was Ryan Noland. Rocking a little bit of a different scheme, but Chad Cup has his work cut out for him. Got a few buggies he's got to try to get through, but Shane Coffey now going to find himself to the top of the board after round, or I should say lap number 1. With 1 minute down, 3:50 left to go to Shane Coffey leading the way. He's on a 13.505, making his way across the line now. How about Brandon Greenwell to the top of the board? He's on a 13.506. Not good enough for a reset, but still going to put him in a pretty good spot come main time. Our front runners from round number 1 are now finding themselves in the bottom 3. It is Brandon, JC, and Bobby Smith right now. 1 through 5, 2.8 seconds is what the gap is. It is anybody's race right now. Traction is looking dialed out there. Cars are looking even better. All it takes is one mistake. Looked like Bobby got a bit of a jump pass from Chad. Chad going to find his way by Bobby. Got one more car in his sights. But right now, that 14.517 is looking stronger and stronger. But I'll tell you what, don't count out Brandon Greenwell. He's on a 14.522 now. Starting to chip away at that TQ time. Can he find a couple of seconds out there to try to lock up TQ in round number 2? That is your all-blue buggy yellow wing coming through that center section right now. That buggy looking good as he makes his way through the rollers. Down the straightaway he goes. 5:21 this time by. Typically, we see some of the young guns throwing down some serious time, but right now, it is some of the guys that got experience out here between Chad and Brandon doing everything right. Just as I say that, though, Shane Coffey now jumping up to a 14.519, going to take over the top spot. How about a 21.5 fast lap for Shane with 2 minutes left to go? We are 3:15 down, 1:10 left to go. 1, 2, and 3. Shane, Brandon, and Chad separated by only 1.2 seconds. Trouble at the end of the straightaway. Trouble at the end of the straightaway. I believe that is Chad. His hopes and dreams crushed right there. And just like that, I believe Chad may have just caught the wheel of Brandon coming over that double-double. So Shane right now trying to run away with it. Is there enough time left to try to get a top spot, though? He's on a 5:20. He needs a 5:17 flat. Here comes Bobby Smith now flirting with a 14-lap pace. He's in that number 2. Real solid set of drivers here in open e-buggy. Coming out next is going to be race number 6. That's going to be Sportsman E-Truggy. Going to be looking for Brian, Jamar, James, Colton, Sean, Billy, and Brandon.
Three, two, one.
That is time, drivers. That is time. Shane's going to need a heater right here.
Bobby Smith done.
JC, you're still
Brandon
live. Chad, you're still
done.
live.
Stinky done.
Shane, you're done. Just waiting on a finish from JC and Chad. Last two to finish. Last two to finish.
All drivers are finished.
And all drivers are finished.
Chad
Taking it down is going to be Shane Coffey with a 14.518. Just barely shy of that TQ spot from Chad. He ran a 5.17, only about 1.2. Ryan Nolan finds himself in the 2 on the last lap. And Brandon Greenrow rounding out your top 3.
The race is completed.
Lining us up for a good main here. An open E-Buggy. Coming out next is going to be Sportsman E-Truggy. Going to need all my drivers from last race to head out and marshal. Just a reminder, we are live once again. Had a bit of a blown fuse, but we got it all fixed up. Figured out the issue pretty fast. So if you want to check us out, we are live on Lifetime, YouTube, and Facebook. If you guys are popping in, I know Facebook is usually the popular option. Feel free to drop a comment in the chat. Give you a little call out here on the mic. Even if you got somebody you're rooting for.
Brian Gerber. Billy Massengill. JT Keaton.
Camden Noland, if you are around and want to stop by the booth. Camden Noland, need you over at the booth. All right, still looking for a check from Jamar, Colton, Sean, and Brandon.
Jamar Keys.
Let's get an all stop on the straightaway. I got a couple guys still not checked in. Need a check from Sean and Colton. All stop on the straightaway once again. Should see no trucks going down the straightaway.
Sean Mahoney.
Sean, you're good. Just need a check from Colton. I'll go ahead and give him a minute. I saw a little bit of work going on in the pit lane. Going to need one marshal at the start of the straightaway. One marshal at the start of the straightaway. One volunteer marshal. Pretty easy spot.
Colton Saylor.
Justin helping us out. You are the man. Thank you very much, sir. All right, how are we looking on marshals? Shane, you want to go back to that middle cone? Shane Coffey. Shane Coffey. Shane, Brandon. Somebody help him out. All right, trying to make his way back. Shane Coffey. You want to go back to the middle cone? All right, all good. All right, drivers, it's going to be a 5-minute race. TQ time to beat is a 13.512. We're going to be going live in less than 5. And here we go for our race number 6 of Sportsman E-Trucky. We are 1 minute down and 4 minutes left to go. Looks like James Keaton did some magic in the trailer over there as he finds himself to the top of the board for Sportsman E-Trucky right now. He's on a 13.524. Not good enough for a reset, but still solid time nonetheless. Chad giving him words of advice in there. Looks like it's paying off right now. Looks like we got a little bit of a shout out from Donna. Said, go Shane, Ryan, and Chad. Good luck to all the drivers. That's what we'd like to hear. I believe the only one here right now is Hunter Hayes out of those 3. But taking a look back at our racing action right now, it is 150 down, 310 left to go. It is still James Keaton leading the way. How about a 13.514? Starting to find some pace now over Billy Massengale. Only 2 seconds off that top time, but Billy not letting up easy just yet. Only 8/10 back from your leader. Both of them on a bit of a long lap. James on a really long lap here. See a little bit of movement on the stand. That's going to drop him down now to the 3. Billy Massengale now finds himself to the top spot. James on a killer run. Got it just a little bit wrong on that one lap. Still, though, finds himself in a top 3 spot. Not a bad spot to be in come main time. Coming out next is going to be race number 7. That's going to be my open E-Trucky drivers. I'm looking for Rylan, Tim, Greg, JC, and Derek. Just a reminder, we will be doing raffles after round number 2. If for whatever reason you guys didn't get raffle tickets, make sure you see me up in the booth and we can get it sorted. Everybody should be good, but if not, let me know. But taking a look back, it is 2 minutes left to go right now. James going to find himself now in the number 2, taking it away from Brian Gerber. Colton getting caught up at the end of the straightaway, gets the worst end of that. You got a couple truggies coming, Bobby. Got 2 more. You're clear, you're clear. We are 330 down, 130 left to go. Looks like right now everybody's pretty far apart right now. Closest battle on the track is about 7 seconds. Everybody pretty much running their race. James starting to close the gap a little. Last time by it was 7 seconds. Now it's 2.4.
1 minute left.
With 1 minute left to go. 1 minute left to go. Colton, you got a couple truggies. Be careful. You got 2 more coming. 2 more coming. And you're clear. Billy shutting down James Hopes right now with a 23-3 last time by. Trying to make sure he holds that lead. But he's on a little bit of a long lap here, 27.8. Now the gap is 7/10 at the line. Is there enough left in the tank for bragging rights at this point?
3, 2, 1.
That is time. That is time. 1, 2, and 3 separated by only about 1.5.
Billy Massengill done.
It is a race to the
JT
line.
done.
James, you're done. Billy, you're done.
Brandon Smith done.
Brandon Smith, you're done. Got 2 to finish. 2 to finish. When you cross the line, you will be finished.
Brian Gerber done.
Brian Gerber, you're done with a 22.6 on the last lap out of nowhere. Holy cow, these times were close.
All drivers are finished.
And all drivers are finished. Taking it down is going to be James Keaton in that number 1 with a 12.504. Just take a listen to how close these times were. James with a 12.504.3. Brian Gerber 504.4. Billy Massengill 504.49. It was maybe 1/10 between the top 3 drivers. Once again, another great race shaping up for the main here.
Race is completed.
Coming out next is going to be race 7, Open E-Truggy.
Tim Brisbane. Greg Swiatek. Derek Body. Rip and Rylan Rubel.
Just looking for a check from JC.
JC Hunt.
All right, looks like everybody is checked. Let's get an all stop on the straightaway. All stop on the straightaway. Going to need all my drivers from last race and maybe a few more. That would have been James Keaton, Brian Gerber, Billy Massengill, Brandon Smith, Sean Mahai, Colton Saylor, and Jamar Keys. If you guys heard your name, you should be out there marshaling. I should have all those cones covered. Once again, I still need 2 marshals. Looks like Billy's coming out now. Looks like I might just be missing Jamar. Jamar, if you're out there, need you to cover one of those cones out there or get a volunteer. There he is, starting to make his way out now. Thank you very much, sir. All right, drivers, is going to be a 5-minute race. Looks like our TQ time to beat is Rylan Rubel with a 13.505. We're going to be going live in less than 5. And here we go for Open E-Truggy. Space yourself out. One that I'll definitely be keeping my eye on. I believe Tim last round had a great run going. Just had a few minor bobbles that set him back. So let's see how he starts out here after round number 2. Lots of great racing here today. Lots of close battles. That's what I like to see. Once again, huge shout out to our track maintenance crew. They put a lot of work in coming up to this race, and it pays off. Track is looking prime out there right now. With 1 minute down, 4 minutes left to go, it is Rylan Rubel leading the way. He's on a 14.517, crushing his first TQ time. JC Hunt on a 14.520, not letting him get away too early right now. Rylan Rubel, you know his colors. You got one coming, one coming. You're all clear, James. How about Greg Swiatek on a 14-lap pace? He's only 1.1 back from your leader. 1 through 5. It is 4 seconds. The gap between those 5 right now. After 145 down, it is still great racing here. Greg Swiatek has been picking up some serious pace over these series races. Been seeing him attend quite a few, but it's paying off right now. That is your orange and white truck making its way onto the straightaway now. That is your second place driver. How about JC Hunt with a 22.6? Starting to find some pace in that truck. $22.2. Maybe I spoke a little too soon. Rylan Rubel right now. Looks like JC's knocking on the back door. Does Rylan have enough speed to fend off a hard-charging JC Hunt? Little more than halfway. All these drivers looking to reset RTQ time 1 through 3. Tim Brisbane now in the fight, finds himself in the top 2. 22.3 last time by.
2 minutes left.
With these short burst 5-minute qualifiers, every little bit counts. 1 or 2 mistakes could be the difference of 1st and 7th. Coming out next is going to be race 8. That is going to be Open Nitro Buggy. You know who you are. Probably going to need 2 volunteer marshals for the next race. With 4 minutes down and 1 minute left to go, it is still Rylan Rubel leading the way. Tim Brisbane starting to close that gap. Only 3.2 seconds back from your leader right now. He's closing about a second a lap. He needs to put the pedal to the metal here, as both of these drivers are on a reset, so it's going to come down to who finishes first. With 20 seconds left to go, Rylan starting to extend that gap just a little bit. Finds himself in the 21s. Tim's running some good laps, but Rylan just has a little bit more pace per lap. That's the difference right now between these two. JC Hunt now in the 3. Greg Swiatek in the 4. Great battle for the 3rd and final spot.
2, 1.
That is time. That is time. Keep on going, drivers. Everybody's still live. Everybody's still live.
JC Hunt done.
JC, you are done. Everybody else will be done when you cross the line.
Greg Swiatek done.
Greg Swiatek, you're done. Rylan Rubel, you're done. Schwann finish from Tim and Derek.
Done. All drivers are
And
finished.
all drivers are finished.
Tim
Taking it
Brisbane
down is going to be Rylan with a reset on a 14.517. Tim in the 2. And JC rounding out your top 3.
The race is completed.
Coming out next is going to be race 8. Open Nitro Buggy. Going to need all my drivers from last race and maybe 2 more volunteers. If I could get 2 volunteers out there, I know I'm going to need the help in the marshaling department. Once again, going to need 2 volunteers. Going to need 2 volunteers out there.
Brandon Greenwell. Ken Ming. Bobby Smith.
Let's start getting my marshals out there.
Stinky.
You're clear, Derek. You're clear.
Ryan Noland.
Going to need one more marshal at the start. I should say the end of the straightaway.
Jean Sabatier. Jason Herrera.
Need one volunteer marshal at the end of the straightaway. One volunteer. Just waiting on a check from Billy Massengill. Billy Massengill. I hear one starting right now, though. I take that's Billy out there. Once again, still need one volunteer marshal at the end of the straightaway. You're good, Billy. Take your time. No worries. You're good, sir. Need one volunteer at the end of the straightaway. One volunteer marshal at the end of the straightaway. Let's keep this program rolling. We're doing awesome today. Just need one volunteer. Faster we get a marshal, the faster we can get into our raffles. Need one underneath the booth here at the end of the straightaway.
Billy Massengill.
Come on, guys. I need one volunteer marshal to help me at the end of the straightaway. One volunteer marshal. I can't get started without that spot, unfortunately. One volunteer marshal at the end of the straightaway. One volunteer marshal. Gonna help me out? Yeah. Thank you very much, David. I appreciate it. All right. 30 seconds on the clock. 30 seconds on the clock. Bring him in for fuel. Bring him in for fuel. Bring him in for fuel. I got 30 seconds. 30 seconds. $20 seconds on the clock. 20 seconds on the clock. Ten seconds, drivers. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. And we're going to be going live in less than 5. Space yourself out. This is a 5-minute race. It goes by quick. Give yourself enough space to race here. Let's give these guys a minute to get sorted in. Let's see how everything sorts out. Right now, we are 120 down, 340 left to go. Leading the way, it is Bobby Smith to the top of the board. He's on a 14.522. Looking to reset this thing over Ryan Noland in that 2 spot. Shane Coffey now in the 3 for Open Nitro Buggy. Taking a look back at Sportsman Nitro Buggy. How about Gene Sabator to the top of the board? Not good enough for a reset, but still good time nonetheless. Billy Massengill in that 2. Jason Herrera in that 3. We're 2 minutes down, 3 minutes left to go here. Bit of trouble over the kicker. Trouble over the kicker. All clear. All clear. Looked like that may have been your leader. Bobby Smith getting caught up. Hopefully something's not broken as he was running your top spot.
2 minutes left.
With 2 minutes left to go. 2 minutes left to go, drivers. Right now, Gene is still leading the way. He's on a 12.5 flat. Flirting with a 13-lap pace. Billy in that too. Jason in a 3. Taking a look back at our open nitro buggy. It is Shane Coffey with a 14.521. Let me go ahead and check what that time to beat is in open nitro buggy. That time to beat was a 13.502, so he's on a reset right now, trying to rip it away from Ryan Noland. Can Shane Coffey find himself to the top of the board?
1 minute left.
1 minute left to go, drivers. 1 minute left to go. Little bit of carnage coming over that double-double. But it is all clear now. Wow. Looked like Ryan Nolan got the worst of that one right there. Just happened to catch Gene coming across. Bad timing. Not too much is changing. Everybody's pretty spread, but it looks like Shane's going to drop down to a 13.503. He needs a 502 to beat out Ryan.
2.
Hopefully he doesn't put himself in that same fate where he just needs a second. It's going to be close at the line here.
Sabatier done. Stinky done.
Shane and Gene, you're the only two done. Everybody else is still live. Keep on going, drivers.
Brandon Greenwell done.
Brandon Greenwell, you're done.
Billy Massengill done.
Billy, you're done.
Ken Ming done.
Ken Brisbane, you're done.
Seth Mr. Death Roulette done.
Seth, you're done. Waiting on 2.
Ryan Nolan done.
Ryan Nolan, you're done. And waiting on a finish from Jason.
All drivers are finished.
All drivers are finished. All drivers are finished. Taking it down for our Sportsman Nitro Buggy was Gene on top of the board with a 12.502. Billy Massengill in the 2. And Seth Rowlett in that number 3. That may have been good enough for a reset. Yes, I believe. I take that back. Not a reset because he actually set round 1 TQ. Taking it down an open Nitro Buggy with Shane Coffey just barely missing out on TQ over Ryan Noland. Brandon Greenwell in the 2. And Ryan Noland in that number 3.
The race is completed.
Coming out next is going to be race 9. That's my open 4-drive SCT drivers.
David Higgins. Jason Herrera. Ripon Rylan Rubel.
All right. As everybody starts to get checked in here, Make sure I got my marshals out from last race. We had plenty of them. If you guys don't get a chance to marshal from last race, if you want to help me out in some of the earlier races that I need a little help, I would appreciate that as well. Looks like we got marshals covered. I need a whole lot of checks, so need a check from Chad, Austin, Sean, Tony, Alex, and I believe James is out. After this race, if I could have all my open nitro buggy and sportsman nitro buggy drivers over just on the left side of the track, I just real quick want to figure out what you guys want to do. Whether we do a full main or we split them, I am cool with whatever. We can put it up to a vote. Just want to make sure we're all on the same page come main time so I can set it up properly. All right, still waiting for a check from Chad, Austin, Sean, and Alex. Need a whole lot of checks out here. I'll stop on the straightaway. I see one extra truck out there, but I see 4 names that are red right now.
Austin Rubin.
Austin, you are good.
Sean Holloway.
Sean, you are good. All right, going to give a 1-minute call to Chad and Alex. Chad and Alex, if you guys are out there, it is open for drive time. If you guys see anyone, just let me know. Once again, looking for Chad and Alex. Give them the 30-second call. Coming. All right. I'll go ahead and give him a break, as he did help us out quite a bit today in our raffle. Once again, just a reminder, after the end of this round, we will be doing raffles while I set up races. So be sure to make your way on over towards Tom. Same spot we got food at. We got all of our raffles over there. That's going to be up in 2 races. Thank you guys once again for joining us here for our 8th and final finale race. Hopefully we're putting on a good show for everybody today. Seems like lots of smiles, lots of fun. So good to see, good to see. All right, looks like we got Chad. I don't see Alex out there, though, so guess I'm going to count him out for this race. Chad, if you want to take your lap, you're more than welcome.
Bad Chad.
He says he doesn't need it, though. All right, we're looking good on marshals. This is going to be a 5-minute race. Going to be going live in less than 5. And here we go for open 4-drive SCT. TQ time to beat is going to be Rylan Rubel with a 13.522. Pretty solid time here for our SCTs. Alex, if you want to run it over the line, don't go backwards down the straightaway, though, if you want to go through pit lane. Let's let these drivers get sorted out here. With 1 minute down, it is Chad Cup to the top of the board. Bit of trouble over the double-double. All clear, all clear. All sorts of carnage. Looked like that double-double right now for four-wheel drive SCT is tough to make today. Alex Keaton going for a bit of a tumble. Almost lands outside the park from the inside. Trouble coming onto the kicker. Gonna get a little help. With 130 down, 330 left to go. Right now it is Chad flirting with a reset. He's on a 13.523. Needs to find about a second of time. Try to take away that TQ from Rylan Rubel. Looked like Rylan had a little bit of a roll at the end of the straightaway right at the start, but he's starting to make up some time once again. Laying down some good laps here. How about a 23.8 from your leader? That's almost as fast as some of the pro buggy times. I believe he's out. Just want to throw him off to the side. We are at that halfway mark. That halfway mark, it is Chad, Austin, David, Derek, and Rylan. 3 through 5 is literally the difference of 8/10. It is still anybody's race right now. All these drivers trying to find time on the track, but Chad Cup absolutely checking out. He's now on a reset last time by. Just needs to find some good time. Your leader in the white and pink coming up on a whole bunch of cars. If he comes up on you, give him a little bit of low, a little bit of room. He is currently on a TQ time. With 2 minutes left to go. 2 minutes left to go. Your leader doing everything right now. Looks like Austin's running back up. He said he's good to go. Put him back out there. Chad Cup still on a 522.0. He's only got TQ by about 2/10 right now. With 1 minute left to go. 1 minute left to go.
1 minute left.
Right now we're 440 down, 20 seconds left to go. Chad Cup only 1/10 is all he needs to try to hit that top spot. Can he secure that top spot away from Rylan Rubel? It is still anybody's race right now. That is your pink and white truck making his way down the straightaway.
1.
Here we go. Let's take a lap around. He's got it by 2/10. Over the double-double he goes. Lands it clean through the rollers.
David
Great line through that center section right now.
Sean Holloway done.
Here he comes. Plenty of room. Thank you very much for the courteous drive. And over the kicker he goes.
Ribbon Rylan
And
done.
2 more rollers to
Tony
finish.
Hall done. Bad Chad done.
And Bad
Jason Herrera
Chad
done.
finishing on a good lap right there. Just barely getting by. Derek last to finish. All drivers are finished. Taking it down is going to be Chad Cup in the 1, Reset in TQ, Derek Bodie in the 2, and David Higgins in the 3. Once again, I need all my Nitro drivers over on the left side of the track real quick. Just going to take a quick vote. I'm also going to need Shane Coffey. Shane Coffey, need you up to the booth real fast.
The race is completed.
All right, looking for checks from Tim, John, and Seth, but it looks like everybody's out there. How are we looking on Marshall's? Marshall's looking awesome. Thank you very much, guys.
John Shaw. Seth Mr. Death Roulette. Tim Brisbane.
All right, 30 seconds on the clock, drivers. 30 seconds on the clock. If you want to come in for fuel, now's the time. Now's the time. Twenty seconds, drivers. 10 seconds, 10 seconds on the clock. And we're going to be going live in less than 5. And here we go for Open Nitro Truggy. Let's give these guys a minute to sort everything out here. It looks like the TQ time to beat was Tim Brisbane with a 13.511. Everybody's on a reset as we speak. So it is still anybody's race right here. Right now, we are 130 down, 330 left to go. Looks like Seth might have gotten caught up just a little bit with John. That's going to allow Tim Brisbane to stretch out that lead. He's got nothing but clear track ahead of him. Only driver on a 14-lap pace, and he's looking to do it in dominating fashion here. Going to drop back to a 13, but still got a 2.9 second gap on John Shaw. You're 1 through 3 separated by about 5 seconds on the clock. We're a little more than at that halfway mark. It is Tim Brisbane on a 13.508. Starting to stretch it out. He's at a 5-second gap on John Seth in that number 3.
Two minutes left.
It is still Tim leading the way. John starting to close the gap a little bit. John is in that red and white Just gets it a little bit wrong. Seth's going to sneak on by now. Try to be a contender for that number 2 spot. Tim Brisbane, though, nothing but clear track ahead right now. He is on a reset of his own time. Got about 6 seconds on his time.
One minute left.
1 minute left to go. 1 minute left to go, drivers. How about a 22-1 from your leader, Tim Brisbane, in that all-white truck? Absolutely sending it over that kicker jump. One of the few drivers out here that I see sending that line, but it looks pretty fast. With 10 seconds left to go, Tim pretty much checking out. John still finds himself in the 2. Seth in that number 3.
2, 1.
Everybody still live. Keep them going. Keep them going.
Tim Brisbane done.
Tim Brisbane, you're done. You guys should still be live. Keep on going. Keep on going.
Seth, Mr. Death Roulette.
Seth, you're done. John, you're still live. Got 1 to finish. 1 to finish. Making his way through the center section now over the rollers. Gets a marshalling going quick, and I'll finish for John Shaw. Taking it down is going to be Tim Brisbane with a 13.502. Good enough for a reset. John in that number 2, and Seth rounding out your top 3. All right, drivers, that is the end of round 2. We're going to go ahead and start getting members of my track maintenance crew out there, and we're going to go ahead and start getting raffles started. All right, this is our absolute last call. If you think I owe you raffle tickets and you have entries that I missed, if you're in this race, you should be all good. But if I owe you raffle tickets for whatever reason, please make sure you make your way on over to the booth. Or actually, I take that back. Make your way on over towards food as we're going to be starting raffles. We're going to be starting raffles right about now. So if you guys want to come over to where we're doing food at, that's going to be the backside of the blower station or over by podiums. We're going to be starting our raffle, so be sure to make your way on over there. Once again, let's start getting everybody over for raffles. That is going to be behind the blower station. Seth, you can hold off on that if you want. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. All right, looks like Seth is going to blow off the track and help us out while we get our raffle started. So I'll start making my way over there. And once we get back, I'll go ahead and start on mains. Thank you, everybody, for attending our raffles here. Got quite a few prizes given out here today. I'm going to go ahead and get started on mains. I'll let you guys know when it's done. Just try to aim for probably about a 320, maybe 325 start, 10 or 15 minutes or so. Get the mains sorted out. Just a heads up to the Nitro guys, heads up to the Nitro Buggy guys. I'm going to be going ahead and splitting the Sportsman and Open Nitro Buggy into 2 separate races. So just be aware you might be earlier on for Open Nitro or Sportsman Nitro Buggy. All right, I'll go ahead and let you guys know when it's ready for the mains. Like I said, just keep an eye on the mains when I post them because they might change around a little bit. Make sure you guys have your stuff ready to go. All right, drivers, the mains are now posted. Mains are now posted. The only overlaps I have are Austin Rubin and David Higgins. You guys are going to be overlapped for race 9 and 10. That's going to be 4-drive SCT and Sportsman e-buggy. Just make sure you guys are ready to go. I had to space out the open nitro buggy and open e-buggy just to make sure that the nitro guys had plenty of time to prep. So it kind of put me in a little bit of a rough spot. Had to overlap you guys. I apologize on that. But outside of that, it is live. It is live. If you guys want to check where you are for the main events are now posted. Make sure some of you nitro guys are ready. I'm trying to get some of the nitros done early on here. Looks like race 3 and 5 for some of the nitros. But coming out first is going to be junior novice 15 and under. We're going to be looking at a 3:25 start. So if you guys want to start getting ready and start heading out there. Gonna need my drivers from open e-buggy. That's going to be Chad, Shane, Ryan, Brandon, Bobby, JC, and Rylan. Help me out for my junior novice. We're looking at a 3:25 start. That's about 3 minutes away. If I can start getting my marshals out there from open e-buggy, going to need my drivers for junior novice 15 and under. Going to need Colby, Lennon, Camden, and Griffin. Let's start getting those drivers out there. Going to need Colby, Lennon, Camden, and Griffin for Junior Novice. Junior Novice, that's going to be our first day main. Going to need marshals from Open E-Buggy. Let's start getting some of my marshals out there from Open E-Buggy. That's going to be Chad, Shane, Ryan, Brandon, Bobby Smith, JC, and Rylan. Bobby going to be walking home with a smile on the face. Nice new radio to add to the collection.
Griffin Mertz.
I'm still missing some drivers out there. I need Camden, Lennon, and Colby. Track is looking prime right now. Thank you to my track maintenance crew helping me out.
Camden Noland.
I believe that was Hunter and Seth always doing a killer job out there.
Colby Hunt.
All right, just looking for a check from Lennon. Looks like Seth is bringing them out now. Thank you very much, sir. Gonna need a few marshals from my Open E-Buggy. That is Chad, Shane, Ryan, Brandon, Bobby, JC, and Rylan. If you heard your name and you're not out there, please make your way out there to Marshall. These first couple races, I'll probably need a couple volunteers to keep it rolling. I try to keep some of the lower marshal races towards the front to make sure we had plenty of marshals here. All right, let's do an all stop on the straightaway. All stop on the straightaway. Still looking for some marshals. Still looking for some of my marshals, guys. Once again, that's my Open E-Buggy drivers. You know who you are. Still looking for Chad, Shane. Believe I saw Ryan out there, maybe. Don't actually see him out there. So I need Chad, Shane, Ryan. Brandon Greenwell, are you out there? Brandon Greenwell. I actually don't see our top four. Still need 4 marshals out there. Help me out, drivers. Thank you, Tony and David. Much appreciated. Brandon Connoisseur going to help us out. Thank you very much, sir. And Greg going out there as well. Thank you very much as well. All right, looks like we filled those cones. Let's get them lined up. Colby's going to be in the 1, Lennon in the 2, Camden in that 3 spot, and Griffin Mertz in the 4. Looking for our number 1 driver, Colby. Colby. Oh, you're actually hiding. I didn't even see you because you're behind the wooden board. All right, perfect. All right, it's going to be an 8-minute race. Let's take it easy out there. We're good on marshals. We're going to be going live in less than 5. Man, great hole shot from these young ones. Reaction still on point. Looks like Colby Hunt is going to be leading us off. Lennon going to try to hang on to that number 2 spot right now as we make our way around. Lennon trying to break hopes and dreams right now, trying to keep up with Colby Hunt. Looks like Camden's going to find himself now in that number 2 spot. Griffin coming across the line. Our leader, Colby Hunt, getting it wrong. Camden taking it slow and steady. Gonna sneak on by, just barely gets by. The battle is on down the straightaway. Here we go. Nice inside pass, 1 and 2. Over the double doubles, they go. Looks like Colby's gonna sneak on by. Put the shoulders out. Our 2 truggy leaders, Camden and Colby, going head to head over the crossover section now. Looks like Camden's going to sneak on by Colby once again. Holy cow, Colby going flying. Both of those trucks upside down. That's going to allow Lennon to close the gap very quickly there. Cow, Colby going flying. Both. Little bit of feedback. Sorry about that. With 2 minutes down, 6 minutes left to go. Coming across the line, it is going to be Colby still on top of the board. Camden, Nolan now in that 2. Lennon, Rowlett just trailing behind these 2. Going for a ride once again. They get caught in the same spot. One coming. All clear. Lennon going to sneak by into that number 2. Now Camden finds himself in that lead. Coming out next is going to be race 2, our Spec/A main. Lennon getting it wrong. Colby going to sneak on by now. These 2 have had a bit of a friendly rivalry going on for this junior novice, but tell you what, Camden Nolan just trying to do everything right, taking it smooth and steady around the track right now. In that pink truggy, that is your current leader. Coming over the crossover, letting these 2 fight. But it is still Camden, Colby, Lennon, and Griffin rounding out your top 4. Looks like Colby right now is starting to close the gap, got a little more power down. But Camden just smooth and consistent out there. Trying to do everything right, keep it wheels to the ground. And just like I said, keeping it smooth is all he needs to do. Our hot lap of the race is going to go to Colby with a 26.1. Camden's got a 26.6 of his own, so these 2 drivers pretty much almost running the same pace. 3:45 down, 4:15 left to go. Down the straightaway, both of these drivers running their hot lap of the race. How about Colby with a 24.9? Wheeling out there right now, trying to close the gap on Camden. Looks like Colby's got a little bit more power in these straightaway sections. Just a matter of keeping the power down, though. Camden starting to feel the pressure, starting to pull the trigger a little harder over this double-double section. Colby breathing on the wing, going for a bit of a ride. There goes Camden for that number 1. Colby getting it wrong over the kicker, almost taking out the marshal. Great movement from JC over there. Whoa. Bit of carnage. And once again, it looks like they almost might get tangled, but Colby going to sneak into the inside, but Camden locking the door shut, not letting him by. Did the old over-under move on him. Who wants a top spot? Colby's going to sneak by now into the inside. 1 and 2 over the kicker. They go. Onto the straightaway. Both of them get tangled. Looks like Camden might have got the worst of it. Just that 1 second is all it takes. Taking a look back at our other drivers here. Lennon still holding on to that number 3, trying to string it together. Griffin still in that 4. We're 5:40 down, 2:20 left to go. Time's ticking away. Great battle between 1 and 2. Colby getting it wrong once again. Camden's going to close the gap coming down the straightaway now. Gives him a little bump. 2 bumps make that. Letting him know he's there. Great battle going on for the top spot. 2 of them get tangled. How is Colby going to react to that? Shoots to the inside, gets a little swirly. Great battle here to start off our mains for our junior novice. 1 and 2, Colby going to sneak to the inside underneath, just about driving underneath them. Both of them flipping, but landing on the wheels. Brawl going on right now for this top spot. It is still anybody's race. We're 1:20 left to go. They maybe got 3 laps left. Colby driving right behind, sneaking to the inside, making it work, but Camden pulling the same move. Colby back to the front once again. Great racing between these 2 young guns.
1 minute left.
With only 1 minute left to go. This is the most room Camden's seen right here. Camden with a little bit of a breakaway. Colby's going to have to put the pedal to the metal here. Try to close that gap with 45 seconds left. They probably go 2 more laps here. Camden going a little bit wide, getting into that loose stuff right there. Over the crossover they go, down the straightaway, only separated by half a straightaway, these 2. This is going to be the battle for the win here in our final race of junior novice. Who's going to take it down is the question. Good line right there from Colby. Goes a little wide.
3,
Camden going a little wide. Shoots it into the pole. Colby going to sneak on by, but Colby gets it wrong. It's a race to the line here. And Colby going to take it down on the last lap. Camden getting it just a little wrong. Coming up onto the kicker. Lennon going to finish in the 3. And Griffin, 1 to finish, 1 to finish. Got 1 to finish, 1 still coming around. Brandon C. 1 truck to finish. Here we go. Griffin making his way around for his final lap.
All drivers are finished.
And all drivers are finished. Taking it down was Colby Hunt in the 1, Camden Nolan in the 2, and Lennon Rowlett in the top 3. Coming out next is going to be Spec Slash. I need all my drivers from last race and maybe a few volunteers. Great battle between those young guns right there. Colby pumped up after that win right there. I would be too. Definitely a lot of adrenaline running through after that race. It was anybody's race up until the very last lap.
Tony Hall.
Race 2, Spec Slash. Gonna need checks from Colton and Justin. Gonna need a little bit of help in the marshaling department. Should be a pretty easy one here. Just got a couple Spec Slashes. Think we might need 2 cones filled.
Colton Sailor.
I see Lennon out there. I see Griffin. I believe that's Colby. And I believe Ryan is marshaling for Camden. So that's all of our marshals from last race. Probably just need 2 more volunteers out there. If I can get 2 volunteer marshals, need 1 for the middle and 1 at the end of the straightaway. Need 2 volunteer marshals. Need 1 at the end of the straightaway and 1 in the middle.
Justin
Thank you,
Mertz.
Ken. All right, start getting you guys lined up. It's going to be Tony Hall in the 1, Colton Sailor in that number 2, and Justin Mertz in that number 3. Just need 1 volunteer at the end of the straightaway, and we'll get going here for Spec/A main. Thank you very much, Alex. All right, we're looking good on marshals. Colton, you want to pull up a little bit? All right, perfect. All right, drivers, it's going to be an 8-minute race. Let's take it easy out there. We're going to be going live in less than 5. Bit of carnage early on here. Colton showing Tony what's up early on in the first corner. Not sure if Tony got caught up or Colton just got a good hole shot there. Still plenty of racing left here with only 30 seconds down. But right now, as it reads, Colton Sailor going to be the first one across the line. With 1:15 down, 6:45 left to go. It is Colton, Justin, and Tony 1, 2, and 3. Hot lap of the race is going to go to Tony Hall with a 32.7. Next closest is Justin with a 34. Looks like the biggest thing with Colton just got that hole shot. But right now, Tony trying to close the gap. Colton getting it a little bit wrong, but marshals himself back over. Almost looks like Tony nosed it over coming through the crossover section. Right now, that gap between Colton and Tony last time by was 6.4. Let's see what it is this time through. Colton laying down some heaters. 32.6, new fast lap of the race. Tony throwing it right back. 31.9. Trouble in the double-double. Trouble in the double-double. That was Colton. Looks like Tony's going to try to sneak onto the inside here. Colton going to shut the door. Tony just playing it smart, trying to play back a little bit. Hoping for Colton to make a little bit of a mistake here. Try to capitalize on it. That's your battle for the top spot. And just as I said, Colton gets it a little bit wrong. Looks like Tony got caught up with Colton. He tried to jump back in front, but still going to leave them less than a half a straightaway apart. Right now, it is Colton Saylor still leading the way. Tony Hall in that two, trailing behind once again. Finds himself in that same spot. 31-9 from Tony, closing the gap a little bit. Looks like Tony might have gotten caught in the dust just a little bit at the end of the straightaway. It's one thing that's tricky with these spec slashes. Don't typically have like a clay tire. They're on the stock tires right now. So they have to make sure that they stay in the groove. If not, it gets slick. Tony pushing all the power out of the spec slash, trying to get over that kicker. We're a little more than halfway here. That was Colton getting it wrong over the crossover. Tony looking to close up a big gap here. Griffin stuck, or I should say Justin, my apologies. Justin stuck at the end of the straightaway. That battle is back on with 3 minutes left to go between Colton and Tony. Colton in the all gray flat body in the back. Tony rocking the orange, blue, and black. Starting to make their way by Justin. Justin going to give him plenty of room. Nice courteous driving. Thank you, Justin. Tony Hall with his fast lap of 31-0. Starting to figure out the end of the straightaway. Here we go through that center section. Good line for both of them. Colton going a little bit wide. Takes out Tony in the process. Tony getting it wrong. Coming over the kicker. Doesn't look like much on the track, but in spec slash, that time feels like a mile out there.
2 minutes left.
With 2 minutes left to go. Tony's full send mode now. Makes the double happen. Are we going to see some heaters here out of Tony? Colton getting it a little bit wrong. How about Tony clearing the kicker? That's a hard shot to make with these spec slashes, but he's going to make up a whole ton of time. How about a 30.1? Colton at the end of the straightaway, upside down, end of the straightaway. Alex. Little bit of a breakaway here for Tony. Once again, now Colton finds himself in that same spot Tony was in, where just that little bit of a gap feels like a mile. Tony getting it wrong, coming over the kicker. Here comes Colton.
1 minute left.
With 1 minute left to go. 1 minute left to go. They're probably going to make it by for two more here. Is this going to come out to a last lap shootout once again from our last race? Tony getting it wrong. Here comes Colton sneaking to the inside. 1 and 2. The battle's on. Here they come through the crossover. Tony trying to hope for any mistake from Colton here. Trailing the back bumper right now. They are only separated by 0.2 on the clock. Looks like Tony was shooting a little bit for the outside. Tony going for a bit of a tumble. Getting all that loose stuff in between the double-double.
3, 2, 1.
Can Colton keep it wheels down right now? He's got a little bit of breathing room. Taking it smooth and consistent over that kicker. Got to keep it clean for the next corner.
Colton Saylor done.
And Colton Saylor taking it down at the line.
Tony Hall done.
Tony Hall in the 2. And one to finish. Here comes Justin around for that top 3 spot. One to finish, drivers.
All drivers are finished. Justin Mertz
Down is going to be Colton in that top spot.
The race is completed.
Coming out now is going to be race number 3. This is going to be Open Nitro Truggy. Going to need all my marshals from last race and a few more. Once again, I'm trying to get some of my smaller marshal races out there early. Make sure we got plenty of volunteers. So I'll say it now. We're definitely going to need a couple volunteers out there.
John Shaw.
Once again, this is going to be one of those races. I need a few volunteers.
Seth Mr. Death Roulette.
Still looking for some volunteer marshals out there. Need some volunteer marshals. Going to need 3 volunteers. 3 volunteers. One in the middle on the back. One on the far right and one on the far left. 3 trucks out here. Help me out. Help me out. Like I said, trying to get some of these smaller races done early. Make sure we got plenty of volunteers out there. Tom, if you want to call this race, I can go out there.
All right, we're still looking for 2 volunteers. 2 volunteers. We need 2 more volunteers here so we can get this one going. If you were in one of those earlier races where we had plenty of marshals and you skipped out, now would be a good time to designate and do your due diligence. Step on up. I need 2 more marshals so I can get this one started. I need 1 more. I see 1 coming. I need 1 more marshal. What's that? Hunter Hayes wanted the volunteer marshal. Is that what I'm hearing? All right, we got Hunter. We need 1 more. 1 more in the top left corner. 1 more in the top left corner. All right, guys, bring him in. Bring him in. All right, lineup's going to be Tim on the 1, John Shaw on the 2, Seth Rowlett on the 3. All right, our marshals are good. I got a thumbs up from my guys down below. I see fuel going in. All right, fuel them up, fuel them up, fuel me up. All right, clean them out, clean them out, clean them out. Down and quiet. And they're off. We got 15 minutes to run. Here we go. Tim throwing it for some big air off that back jump. He's going to be the first one by the stripe. Looks like John Shaw has a little bit of trouble on the far right-hand side of the track. Gets it all straightened out. Seth moves up to that too. Tim Brisbane, new colors, new paint, new life out there. Oh, speaking of, he's upside down. All back on his wheels. That'll tighten things back up. Seth Rowlett now pulling right up to the back bumper. 1 and 2 coming over the doubles in the center. Tim Brisbane with that techno showing the way out front. You got 1:15 in, 3:45 to go. 13:45 to go, sorry. Three drivers, pretty open real estate out there. Battle starting to heat up in the back towards second and third. That's John Shaw and Seth Rowlett coming onto the straightaway now. John Shaw looking to make that move to the inside. Duffs the pipe a little bit. Gives Seth a little bit of breathing room. They are still keeping pretty tight in tow with your leader, Tim Brisbane. Fast lap of the race right now goes to Tim Brisbane, 22.3. Seth Rowlett, his fast lap is 23.3. John Shaw's quick lap of the race is 23.2. John Shaw having a little trouble in the center of the track. Gets it back straight going. Trouble in the back right. All clear. That's your leader upside down. Giving that opportunity back to Seth Rowlett to catch back up. Oh, Seth having a little trouble of his own. Oh, tries a course correct. It gets himself upside down. That's going to give John Shaw an opportunity to catch back up to the backside of him. That'll give Tim Brisbane a little bit of breathing room up front. He's currently on a 39.514. Seth Rowlett's on a 37.509. John Shaw's on a 37.518. Battle heating up for that second and third again. John Shaw and Seth Rowlett. Seth Rowlett still showing the way in second. Has a little trouble over the doubles. Has to roll out of the gas. Gives that second place position back to John Shaw. Three and a half down, 11:30 to go. Tim Brisbane showing the way out in front. He's still on a 39.1505. John Shaw's on a 38.521. Seth Rowlett's on a 38.524. That battle is still for that number 2 spot between John Shaw and Seth Rowlett. There they are now coming down the straightaway. John Shaw showing Seth the way for that number 2 spot. Tim Brisbane just being consistent out there, ripping off low 22, high 22s, low 23s, keeping it smooth, keeping it on all four, keeping the rubber down. John Shaw starting to break away a little bit from that third place car of Seth Rowlett. See if Seth can catch back up. Looks like Andrew Bishop picking up a little debris out there. We are now 6 minutes in, 9 minutes to go. 6 in, 9 to go. Seth Rowlett going a little wide there, letting your leader by. Let's see if Seth can hook right to the back of him and follow him around, catch right back up to the backside of John Shaw. We are 7 down, 8 to go. 7 down, 8 to go. Any minute now, we should probably be seeing some pit stops. Let's see who's got what. Here we go. Speaking of now, we got Tim in the pits. Father Ken giving him a little fuel, keeping the revs up, sends him on his way. Pretty clean stop. I believe that is John Shaw in the pit now. Brian Gerber on the gun. Brian Gerber gets him down and away. Seth Rowlett coming in. Seth is all filled up, ready to go. Pit guys are now relinquished their duties. They've done their job. Now it's up to the driver to do theirs. Seth having a little trouble over the double. All clear. Tim Brisbane sending it big over that back jump. That was John Shaw that he just went by. Still have Tim on a 39.506. John Shaw's on a 38.522. Seth Rowlett's on a 36.1503. Six minutes remaining in this one. Field is pretty well separated. Seth Rowlett about a half a track back behind John. Oh, Seth having trouble. Gets him fired back up, gets him right back out there. Fast lap of the race, still going to Tim Brisbane on a 22.1. John Shaw's hot lap of the race is a 22.5. Seth Rowlett, his fast lap of the race, 23.1. 4.5 minutes remaining in this one. 4.5 minutes remaining. Race number 4. You guys should probably start thinking about getting them brought up now. Trouble in the back. All clear. The field is pretty well separated now. Tim Brisbane still on a 39. 50. Tim Brisbane still in front, 39-15-08. John Shaw, 37-15-07. Seth Rowlett's on a 34-15-16. 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in this one. Seth Rowlett running his hot lap of the race right there, 22-8. Two minutes and 30 seconds remaining in this one. 2:30 rough remaining.
Two minutes left.
You heard the lady. 2 minutes remaining. 13 down, 2 to go. We still got Tim up top. Just ran his fast lap of the race with a 22 flat that last time by. John Shaw, he's still on a 37-15 flat. Seth Rowlett's on a 35 flat. Tim Brisbane in that techno looking good out there.
One minute left.
Thirty seconds remaining in this one.
Three, two, one. Seth Mr. Death Roulette done. Tim Brisbane done. All drivers are finished. John Shaw done. The race is completed. John Graham. Brandon Knotzer. Sean Mahoney.
Make sure it's not on. We flick it. Flick it. Like what? It's Twitch. Hang on 1 second, just getting some technical stuff figured out. How are we looking on Marshall's out there? Marshall's looking pretty good. Thank you, guys. Test 1, 2, test. All right, there we go. Just getting one of the mics working again. All right, still need to check from Jamar, Brandon Smith, and Alex Keaton. If you guys are out there, just make sure you make your way across the line.
Alex Keaton.
All right, so it looks like the lineup is going to be Jamar in the 1, John in the 2, Sean in the 3, Alex in the 4, and Brandon Connoisseur rounding out your top 5. Thank you guys so much for the Marshall and help, keeping it going good. Let you guys find your happy place. All right, looks like we're good. All right, drivers, it's going to be an 8-minute main. It's going to be the top 2 bump. I see a little bit of a disagreement. Should be Alex in the 4 and Brandon in the 5. There we go, perfect. Oh, relining up. All right, we'll go with that. All right, drivers, going to be 8-minute main. Let's take it easy in the first turn. We're going to be going live in less than 5. Running order, it's Jamar in the 1, John in the 2, Sean in the 3, Alex in the 4, and Brandon in the 5. And I see 2 cars lined up next to each other. Once again, it is Sean in the 3, Alex in the 4, and Brandon in the 5. All good? All right, now we look settled. All right, we're going to be going live in less than 5. And here we go, drivers, for our B main sort. One upside down early on. I believe that may have been Sean. Reminder that top 2 bump to the A main. So this is a bump to this show right now. Who is going to take the top 2 spots? We are 1 minute down, 7 minutes left to go. It is Jamar Keys finding himself on top of the board. Believe he's rocking that Caster Racing buggy, if I'm not mistaken. It is John Graham in the 2, Alex in the 3, Brandon in the 4, and Sean rounding out your top 5. Bit of trouble coming over the kicker. That was your leader. 1, 2, and 3 down the straightaway they go. Only separated by about 2 seconds. Coming over the double-double now. Sean trying to give him room. As they make their way over the double now. Over that kicker section and into the rollers. Alex trying to keep himself in the fight for that A main bump. But right now, Jamar and John playing nice, but just as I say that, both take each other out. And just like that, Alex is trying to sneak on by. Trouble at the end of the straightaway. You're clear. Give him a little help. Alex getting it wrong. He was out in front. Still going to hold on to the lead, but the battle's still on 1 through 3. One buggy upside down in front of the kicker. I believe that's still going to put Alex Keaton right now to the top of the board. Yes, it does. He's on a 17.808. John Graham in the 2. Now Jamar finds himself in the 3. Looks like John going for a little bit of a jump pass. Couldn't make it happen, though. Alex getting a little wide, and then John just taking it clean and consistent. Over the crossover into that kicker they go. Down the straightaway now. We are 3 minutes down, 5 minutes left to go. Still plenty of racing left in this. Still, Brandon Connoisseur, got to give him props. Keeping himself on the lead lap right now. We are almost halfway down as well. Still keeping himself in the fight for that top 2 bump. All it takes is a few bobbles, and he's right there. 1, 2, and 3 battle down the straightaway. That was Alex going wide. John going to sneak on by. Here comes Jamar trying to take advantage of these two battling. Jamar taking a look to the inside line. Alex going to give him a little bump, but no harm, no foul. And Alex sneaks on by now. Great battle going on for the second final bump spot. They clack wheels. Jamar going to make the inside pass happen. Bit of carnage coming through that center section. Alex not happy about that pass. Jamar getting on 2 wheels. And right now that's allowing John just to stretch the gap just a little bit. John is 2.3 ahead of these two. But don't count these two out just yet. All it takes is one mistake from John and they'll get past. We're 4:30 down, 3:30 left to go. Your leader's coming up on you, Brandon. Thank you. Got 2 more behind you. Thank you very much, sir. Nice courteous driving. That's that battle coming down the straightaway now for that second spot. Brandon trying to give him a little bit of room. Fortunately, just rolls it over right there. Jamar going to get past Alex over the double-double. Believe that's the biggest gap he's had thus far from Alex. Your leader getting it wrong. I take that back. That was not your leader. That was Sean. So it looks like John is looking to check out here. He's 6.3 ahead of second and third. So the battle looks like it's going to be on for that second and final bump-up spot. That second double looks to be a tough spot there for Alex. Just carrying a little bit too much speed through there.
2 minutes left.
With 2 minutes left to go, 2 minutes left to go. How about a 24 flat from Jamar, starting to close the gap on John Graham. He's going for one more spot here. That gap is closing fast, but don't count on Alex just yet. He's still in the fight. All he needs is maybe one more bobble from Jamar, and he's right there. Coming out next is going to be race number 5. I'm going to need my drivers for Sportsman Nitro Buggy A-Main. That's going to be Gene, Seth, Jason, and Billy.
1 minute left.
With 1 minute left to go, 1 minute left to go. Right now, your running order, it is John, Jamar, Alex, Brandon, and Sean rounding out your top 5. Is there enough time left to try to let Alex close the gap with only 30 seconds left to go? They might make 2 more. It's going to be close at the line. Alex going to need to put down a heater here. Jamar going to make it by. Looks like Alex may have gotten caught up just a little bit. I don't think he'll make it by for one more.
3, 2, 1.
And that is time. That is time, drivers. When you cross the line, you will be finished.
Alex Keaton done.
Alex, you are
Sean
done.
Mahoney done.
Sean, you are
John
done.
Graham done.
John, you're done. Just waiting on a finish from Brandon and Jamar, 2 to finish.
Jamar Keys done.
Jamar, you're finished. Just waiting on a finish from Brandon. Last to finish.
All drivers are finished.
And all drivers are finished.
Brandon,
Taking it down is going to be John Graham in that number 1, Jamar in the 2. That's going to be our 2 bump up spots. And Alex Keaton rounding out your top 3
Race is completed.
for the Sportsman E Buggy B main. Coming out next is going to be race number 5. That's going to be our Sportsman Nitro Buggy A main. Going to need all my drivers from last race and maybe 2 more. If I get 2 volunteers out there. Looks like Ken is staying out there. Thank you very much, sir. You are the man. Shout out to Ken over at, I believe it's Down and Quiet RC. Hopefully I'm correct on that. Runs a nice little vlog channel, vlogging some of the adventures of RC,
Billy Massengill.
some of the different races him and Tim attend. If you ever get bored, make sure to check it out. Got some pretty sweet videos on there.
Jean Sabatier.
Once again, going to need all my drivers from last race and maybe one more. I still need, if you hear your name and you're not out there, I need you out there. I need John, Jamar, Alex, Brandon, and Sean.
Jason Herrera.
Just waiting on a check from Seth. Need a check from Seth Rowlett. Jamar, I need you out there to marshal Jamar Keys. Need Jamar and Alex out there.
Seth Mr. Death Roulette.
The Alex, thank you very much, sir. All right, we're all checked in. Just need Jamar to go out there and marshal or find me a volunteer. Jamar. All right, let's go ahead and pull him into the pits. Pull him into the pits. Let's hold him in the pit lane. Jamar, I need you out there to marshal. All right, let's hold him in pit lane. I still need one. Jamar, if you're out there, I need you to marshal. You're the only one I'm missing from last race. I have Sean, Brandon, Alex, and John out there. Once again, I still need you, Jamar. If you're out there to marshal or I need a volunteer, one of the two. I don't want to threaten a bump up spot, but that's what's on the line right now. I need you out here to marshal. Oh, Ken. Oh, okay. I didn't realize. My apologies. Looks like Ken is out there marshal for him. All right, so I need one volunteer then. I need one volunteer, Marshall. Need one volunteer for the middle. Need one volunteer. Let's keep this show moving. Let's not let it stall here. One volunteer is all I need, and we can keep it going. Come on, guys. Help me out. One volunteer, Marshall. We're doing good all day. Don't let it stall on one race. I know someone's out there to help us out. One volunteer marshal in the middle. One volunteer marshal in the middle. Help me out, guys. It's 4 buggies out there. I need 1 volunteer in the middle. Colin, you're going to help me out? Whatever you want to take. It's up to you. Yeah, Hunter, if you want to help him out. Thank you very much, Hunter. All right, let's let him loose. Let him loose. Actually, no, don't let him loose. My apologies. Let's start getting him lined up. All right, it's going to be Gene on the 1, Seth in the 2, Jason on the 3, and Billy in the 4. Let's start making our way out. All right, everybody's starting to look good here. All right, drivers, let's start fueling them up, fueling them up, fueling them up, fueling them up. Ring them out, ring them out, ring them out, ring them out. Down and quiet. And here we go for our Sportsman Nitro Buggy A main. Some heads up racing here today in Sportsman Nitro. Let's see how everything's going to sort out here. Still plenty of racing left ahead of us. Let's make sure we take it easy here. So let these guys get settled out and see how everything sorts out. While I do that, let me take a look at points. See how Sportsman E-Buggies, but I believe Gene, if I'm not mistaken, is pretty far ahead right now. Been a consistent contender here for Sportsman Nitro. As it reads right now, and it looks like